What's up, Gypsy gang? We are here live from the Vurb Classic here in Next Level 101. I'm joined by Daniel Blair. We're in South Carolina. We've got an epic sunset here. Mother Nature has really turned it on for us for this event. And we're just going to do a little cheeky live podcast while the sun sets.
That's
before
romantic.
we maybe crush a couple beers after this, potentially. Yeah. But, mate, we're here at the Vurb Classic. And this is... You're like involved in this. You're one of the ownership group, as they say, and you've done an amazing job with the team here.
I got to say right off the top, I haven't done much for this event. I'm here to help. When they tell me what to do and where to go, I just do it, but I am not part of the creation of this. That's Eddie Ray and Jessica Patterson who have done an amazing job. I mean, hey, so this is your first time here. I guess what's your overall thoughts of Next Level 101? Just the creation that is still in creation mode because we have a lot of plans, but here we are for now.
Dude, it's honestly the dream. Like, so right now we're probably 3/4 of the way sort of through the property, and we've got like this sort of nice grassy area here. The track's right behind us. And I think it's more like you can kind of build a good track anywhere, but to have the trees, to have the grass, to have like what you guys have on the property, I think as much as the track's amazing, I think as a facility and as a property, like this is a really beautiful place.
Yeah, it is. I love it. The Carolinas, I mean, you've been here now for a little bit. The Carolinas are awesome, and I love our facility, and the track works its way in it too and follows the landscape. I mean, you can see on the back trees of this place how the track kind of follows. But that was all created. It wasn't like that, but they did a lot of work and moved a lot of earth around to get it this way. So, yeah, the track's cool, but the property does kind of give it that extra cherry on top. And you mentioned Mother Nature. Like, I feel like we really got lucky this year because we did have some rain this week that got into the soil. All of our ponds are filled with water. Last year, we were just hanging on for dear life. It was so dry that we were just like, survive, survive, survive. Where this year, everything has just come together perfect. The weather's perfect. We got a great group of kids here, some legends. Chad Reed and Josh Grant are here. So
the world's fastest mini dads are here.
Exactly. And neither one of them brought their gear or bike, which
yeah, because the kids have too many bikes.
They have no room.
Dude, that's like the ultimate, you're done racing. You're like when you're not even taking your own bike because you're so focused on your kids doing well that you're like, look, you know what? I'm last priority now.
When you don't have room for your bike because your kid's third bike is in the vehicle, you're out. That's game over. But it's cool to see them here, and it's cool to see you too. I do want to start by telling a funny story. Really funny story. So I went on Gypsy Tales podcast probably 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But just through our own communication naturally, through phone calls and DMs and whatever, like I feel like I've known you forever.
Yeah.
Go to Loretta Lynn's, and there you are. And I'm like, oh, what's up? Walk up, give you a hug, and I'm like,
I just
met you. I've never met you before until now, which is so weird because I know we've heard each other so many hours. But, bro, I think we're friends now, like real ones in person.
Yeah, I knew we were friends from day one. There's people in life where you just kind of like that. Oh yeah, we're gonna be real good friends, and you're one of those guys.
How's it been so far though? You have, I mean, you're worldwide. You're all over the place, but you've been now in the U.S. for a block of time. How has this trip been overall since you got here?
Honestly, living the dream. Like with everything that happened, like visa-wise and everything, it was 5 years out of the U.S. and it's just so strange to feel at home in a place, like there's so many people here that I just have such good relationships with. I spend so much time here, and I don't think I appreciated America as much as I should have at the start, but I was kind of in my 20s, but
You're
I feel
a different
like
person
I've got a whole different lease on life, and I'm honestly like grateful to be here. And it's funny, like, people are like, they let anyone in America. And I'm like, well, you know what? This place is pretty dope. So that's a reason why so many people are trying to walk here.
And then you show up at the Vurb Classic, and you're a factory rider.
Oh, yeah.
A Orange Brigade KTM comes rolling out for you, all prepped and nice on the stand. I lubed the chain today.
I did tighten my own chain, though.
That's right.
It was pretty loose.
It was loose a little bit. But, hey, I gave it my all. I'm not a good mechanic. But, dude, how's it feel to show up and be riding for KTM this weekend?
Well, this is my Loretta's tryout, isn't it? Isn't this my Loretta's tryout for next year, 35 plus? What's the non-pro class again?
I mean, I
I'm
thought
just going to put it on you in front of all the people.
I already thought you already had the deal. I didn't know. If you want to try out, that's fine. I was going to move right to the deal, but
we can do that.
No. You want to try out? Then let's try out. What do we have to do tomorrow?
Oh, I don't know. If I top 5 the D class, does that get me?
Can you beat Carson Brown on one of these?
Well, we actually were out there today, so I don't know over 5 laps, but
hey, what are we on, by the way?
I don't even know what we're on. History. That's what we're on. We're on.
What year?
Have you ever seen that? Ancient aliens. They dig these things up out the desert. Huh?
What?
Ancient aliens. Like they always find
yeah.
all the old weird stuff.
But I want to know where Randy Richardson is because he knows the history. Because I know these are old and legendary, but I want to know what legend.
I 77.
77.
I pulled up on Carson today on one of these things and was just following him, and he's like, "Dude, why didn't you pass me?" I'm like, "Man, I was having fun watching you ride."
What do you look like on it?
Dude, good. And the thing is that when you have 3 inches of travel, then you really need to ride around the bump. So I was following his lines, and we're on some pretty smooth parts of the track.
You knew that he had to be more creative than you had to be on the fresh 2023.
Dude, so to get back to your question, it felt pretty damn good to roll up and have a KTM 250F there, and the track was honestly so fun. I've said it a few times on this trip, but the tracks in America are insane. There's a reason why Americans kill it at motocross, because there's not one of these in Australia. So you got there's tracks like this, especially in the southeast. There's so many great tracks. This would, if you just plock this in Australia, it's instantly one of the best tracks in Australia. And I'm not exaggerating.
No,
so to just be able to get out there, ride some gnarly ruts, straight line right after jump, that was real motocross out there today.
It was good, and a shout out, of course, to Eddie and crew, Alex. They did a fantastic job on the track. This track's here year round, and we use it from time to time for different things when the weather is cooperating, because it's big, it's long, it covers so much ground.
Yeah. What was the lap time today for fast dudes? Would you know roughly?
I was supposed to do that today. Actually,
does anyone know what the lap times were roughly?
Yeah, I had one requirement today, which was to get lap times so they could figure out laps for tomorrow. And I don't.
In public.
I didn't do one today. So the one requirement they had for me.
You had one job, bro.
But no, the track is great. They did an awesome job, and you know this because you wrote it. There was a lot of mix of different soil. There's sand on the property that we dug out and put. Places.
Oh, that's from the property?
Oh, no, we mine it out. There, we have spots.
Really?
Oh, yeah, and then we have this, recycled paper. There's paper mills around here a lot, so we get this recycled paper that we mix in that holds the moisture, mixed with just all the typical stuff you can kind of mix in. But because we changed the layout, we were able to kind of grab some dirt and, throw it back on top. Yeah. So it was deep today. I think tomorrow will be more normal because today was super loose, fluffy, and it was awesome. I think it was more fun today, but tomorrow might get actually a little ruddier.
The paper that you guys mix in, you know when you just see a shovel full of roost coming at you, and you're like, this is gonna hurt so bad, and it doesn't hurt at all.
They're like little spit wads.
Yeah, literally. But I was just pulling tear-offs just all day because it was literally getting shovels of dirt thrown at you.
So what are you racing tomorrow then? Are you gonna race my bike or what?
Yeah, I think
okay, because I gotta get gas. We're out of fuel.
I did notice that.
Okay, I'll take the tank home tonight. But what are you what are you racing? What's the plan?
I don't know. There's a vet class, obviously.
How old are you?
35.
35.
35 and a lot.
Me too.
Baby. Yeah, I was just talking to Luther's I'm 25. And I'm like, damn, bro, that's.
I'm 41 now.
Oh, but you look good.
Feel good. Chad's 41
you're still
too.
Growing?
What?
You're still growing?
Growing? I've been shrinking, man, because I feel like there's just been so much damage over the years that it's just settling in.
You've just lawn darted so many times. It's just
like if a building or a company ever does a really bad job construction and the foundation ain't good, it all sinks eventually. I feel like my foundation's broke because I do feel like I'm shrinking a little bit every single year. It's probably just my back getting. Yeah. But no, 41 now, dude.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there at some point.
It's coming. So what's your plan now? What you're here, but man, you're like you said, you're living this life right now. That's where do I want to go? How do I want to do it? Let's roll. So what's now? What's next? What are you doing?
So the plan is I'll probably be here for a few more months. Try and do some West Coast Supercross stuff. We've got the studio in California. And I'll pretty much just be trying to do shows as much as possible. So whenever people have booked shows, I'll be in California. Whenever people haven't booked shows, I'll be traveling around America, killing it.
You asked me to come back on the show for round 2.
I'm keen. Whenever you're ready.
And
Whenever you're ready.
And what I tell you?
Soon.
Not ready. I did not say soon. I did not say soon. I said your show is like this truth show, and you have this weird way too, because I didn't know you for a second.
We literally had never spoken. That's one thing people don't realize about the podcast sometimes, is like people are walking in and I've never spoke to them in my life apart from Instagram DMs.
That's how it was too. Yeah. And your studio is so sick because obviously you're working the globe here, so to be there in SoCal and be able to look across the screen and see you and know who you are, but not know you at all. Yeah. And then you're like, all right, let's press record. And I don't know if you've got some magic tricks up your sleeve, but whatever, dude. But you get the truth out. And so when you hit me up and said, hey, come on again, I'm like,
can't be doing
we're
that.
We're not really in a place for truth at the moment. I there's some things that I would like to
just keep
away for right now. So you just have to wait. But soon isn't the answer, but
you got to
not long.
Invite. You got to open invite. So whenever you're ready.
When I'm ready. But not yet.
So who have we got here? There was a couple of dudes today that you said were your guys, Orange Brigade boys, that were fully ripping.
Yeah. So
really, really ripping. And one of them's like 6.
Yeah. He's 14, but
which is 6.
Okay, so I've got 2 of my riders here on the big bikes. I've got some of the younger ones too. Anderson Waddell on a 65. He's here as well. But on the big bikes, I've got Luke Fowler and Lenton Gibson, and they're newly extended riders. Both of them signed long-term extensions with me this summer.
That's so cool.
And it was really cool for me too, because the sport it's gnarly at this stage, because you're scouting and you're trying to figure it all out, and it's really, really difficult. But some kids show you something. And it could be the weirdest scenario that they fought through. It could be just the most odd thing.
Yeah.
But those 2 showed me some things right off the bat this year, and I said, like, I want to work with them for a while. Like, I want to build a block of time.
Yeah.
And I want to work with them in that block of time because I know they have what it takes. And they're both here, and these are 2 of the riders that since I got on the team, they seem to go a lot of places where I go too. If they want to race, they want to race, and they go where I go because I think they want to be at the races. They want to have me there. They want to be with.
Yeah.
There's a bond that's being built. So here we are at the Vurb Classic, and they're both like, "Yeah, we're in. We're coming for sure." And they're out there today, just
super
shredding.
Cool
and
that good ride.
I'm super grateful for the kids we do have on the team. These 2 are very special to me. Their future is very bright, and it's cool that they would come to a race like this. This is. You talked about this is a vibe race, dude. The pits are going off right now. Everyone's having a good time, but to have these 2 really gnarly kids that are, on the verge of being pros here, going at each other, I think it's great. I love to be their manager and be here for these types of moments,
Should we start calling it the Vibe Classic instead of the Vurb Classic? Everyone will know what we're talking about. They'll be like, yeah, it's the Vibe race. We got to go do the Vibe race.
You notice how they're agreeing, but they're not? You see that? That was a really...
vurbmoto.com, where the vibes live.
But that is cool, too, because, again, if you want to have a great race, you got to put some things together first. You got to have a good track. The kids, they need to show up and go, man, I like this place. But when it comes to promotion and making the event feel like it's got this thing about it, the vibe, look at...
What's that? Oh, Gabby.
Oh, question.
All right, so
let me finish real quickly.
Yeah.
You put the Verb guys and their ability to market and brand and make an event feel like like this one feels. Attach that to a good track, get some fast kids, get some legends on the property, and there's your Vibe Classic.
Yeah.
So shout out to these guys though. They've done a great job, and the event's been awesome so far.
Oh, 100%. And motocross can get really serious. And it's like, sometimes you could say that's a good thing. Sometimes you could say it gets too serious. But, it's a serious game. They're playing out here like, you get hurt. There's a lot of money that people invest. So I get why it is serious. But it's also pretty nice to come to a Verb race that has such a sick vibe. And it kind of just reminds you, like, why you're doing it at base. Because it's like, that's one of the cool things about, like, Chad and JG being here. It's like, they race. They reached the highest of the highs, and then what do they want to do? All the seriousness goes away, all the pressure goes away, and they want to park their motorhome at a beautiful track, hang with their friends, and enjoy like motocross, So it's like it goes full circle. So I think it's really good when you're in the thick of it to remind yourself that this is really fun.
Yeah, it's Friday practice day too. Let's see tomorrow, because I
fair,
bet you
fair,
some of the
fair.
fun's gonna go away tomorrow, and the
I guess
intensity.
because I don't race this thing.
You're vibing with the Friday because everyone's having a good time. Look at the pit lights going off. Kids having a great time. Tomorrow, though, with real gate drops, things will get a little more serious. Not Loretta serious, but
I guess that's fair. That's a fair point. Yeah. So people are racing for the crown, the king of the classic. Who would you say is in the running for that?
I don't know. What's the how do you win it? What's the rules? What's the stipulation? I mean, I should probably know.
What's the rules? We'll bring in Wes.
Wes, what are the rules?
I'm a vibe guy. I don't do the rules.
We're going to the best average finisher on the weekend, okay?
Best average?
Yeah, best average. So you can add up all your results. It's like Motocross of Nations, kind of? No, it's average, all right? So if you go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, your average is 1.
What if you go 5, 5, 5, 5, 5? That guy gets it?
If that's the best average finish, yeah, but that's never happened. Normally it's like 1 to 1.3 to win the King of the Classic.
I thought you meant just the guy who was the most consistent wherever he was. I thought the kid in 12th could just rock 12
we
all
add
the way
up
through.
every single result of every single person that's racing.
All right.
And then the king or queen even. So,
All right.
yeah, so you got to race 2 classes a day minimum.
Yep.
And then we average out your results on the weekend. So we've had a lot of people go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then... And that was super duper easy. And then the years that we've had multiple people do that, then it goes to who raced the most classes.
Okay.
So then if you race 3 motos per day, that's the tiebreaker. Third tiebreaker goes to the amount of entries total in all your classes.
Oh, so you better win the class with the full gates.
Dawson Cobb won it last year. The year before, Clayton Sane, who this King of the Classic trophy is now in memory of him. He passed away shortly after winning this at the King of the Classic. So ride in peace, my man.
R.I.P.
But beyond this, we have a lot of other cool trophies, including some Power and Performance Awards, Hired Gun Awards, Fastest Man in Piedmont Award. We have the Race Tech Most Shocking Performance Award, $1,500 full suspension setup from Race Tech for the most shocking performance.
Wow.
A lot of really cool things.
Super smart. Oh, yeah.
And if you're a hired gun, you get Instagram fame because we make you Instagram reels and stuff, so it's kind of cool.
And you know it's all about the gram.
Hey, who does not love clout, baby? So we got a couple questions here. Will I be at the last race at SMX? I will be. Why is DB not riding at his own event, Nut Up DB? And that is by Dark Side MX.
Come on, man. Really, right there from 15 feet away. So I'm making a comeback, and I'm riding 1 day a week. I mean, as far as like I'm going to be a rider again.
Yeah.
But I'm on a 1 day a week thing right now, and I rode Monday. So
that's it. Seven day
I'm a disciplined
turnaround.
person.
Yeah.
So I got to wait till next week. So.
You got to wash the gear. You got to wash the bike. Like there's a bit that goes on.
Well, no, and the truth is I'm more of a hard pack. Like I don't like ruts and bumps. I like jumps. Yeah. And the track today was soft and ruddy and bumpy, and that's not my style. I'll ride here on Monday. They'll groom it real nice and smooth, vet ride, and then I'll be good.
Dude, honestly, it was so much fun, eh? Like I had.
How many rides did you do? 4?
4, yeah.
4 practices?
Yeah. Why didn't we do more practice?
We ran out of gas. Told you the fuel tank ran out.
Yeah, I probably would have run out of gas. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna bring in Chad. What's going on here? Yeah. All right, we're kicking DB off this thing, or are we keeping him there? All right. What's going on,
What's
Chad?
up?
Just chilling out.
Where's your
getting
gear?
Ready for dinner, and you guys are running long. So
Where's your gear, Chad?
Where's my gear? Why, you want to race?
No, I want you to ride. I'm getting a hard time. How come you're not?
I felt like we should race.
No, what? I've ridden like 8 times in 8 years, dude. Are you kidding me?
I've ridden maybe.
You raced World
times.
Supercross last year.
My gear's in the thing because I did a father-son 85 race last weekend.
Oh, you want to race on 85s? I'll race you on an 85.
You know what? It's really fun, but I've done it 3 times and I've got 3 seconds, and it's not that fun.
You don't need your 4th.
I don't need a 4th.
I weigh 160 pounds, dude. I'm 5'5".
Next year I'm gonna take it serious. I'm gonna go on a diet, get back in race shape.
You want that career.
Yeah, we need it. I'm letting my kid down now.
It's the one title Chad hasn't won, so he has to win it.
The Vurb Classic. No, you raced this though, didn't you?
What?
You raced here, didn't you, a couple years ago?
Yeah. I won. I don't know. I think I just read 1 class. But yeah, I won 2 years ago. It was really fun. Track was deep. Big jumps, stuff like that. So we didn't come last year, but the track's changed a lot. Looks pretty good. Kids are learning and getting up to speed. Got to get Tate to send a triple in the back. But
same.
Yeah. Oh, you're not doing it either?
Dude, I was kind of in the wrong. This is my excuse. I was in the wrong practice. I didn't see one person jump it all day. Like there was just people everywhere.
So Monday,
that's my excuse.
Monday I did like the test ride video for this, right? It took
It's a
me
big jump, dude.
forever. Hey, no one was around. I had to go and just go over it like 10 times. I was so scared because I don't have the body that can handle any miss. No miss, right? And dude, it's kind of a big landing over there. Like, and then of course I'm like, all right, I'm going on the corner before I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So scared up the lip, and then did it perfectly clean. And I was like, dude, come on, man.
See,
it literally took me an hour to do it.
Big landing means smooth landing, Daniel.
Yeah, but
So you're thinking about it wrong. You're just thinking big, land on it, it's hard landing. No, big means smooth.
all I can think about is it hurts my body when I clean it smooth, or when I clear it smooth. Imagine if I miss.
Well, I was trying to psych myself up and saying, dude, it's just riding, but on air. Like jumping is just riding on air. It's really can't be that much more complicated than that, can it?
No, I mean, it's pretty easy. It's funny because it's like you've been doing it since you're a kid, and what's funny is you have a couple of kids that you're trying to teach and try to give them information, and sometimes it's hard to give them the real information because it's just like walking for me, like it's so weird, and that's what I try to get. Am I breaking down?
Yo.
We're good.
Oh, we good?
Check.
You may use yours.
Yo. Oh, yeah, we're
Yeah,
back.
and the hard thing is like when you start to tell Tate and or Kaya, you start to break it down, and the best way you can explain it is it's just like walking, right? Like if you have to go up those set of stairs, you automatically just know how to do it. Yeah. And when you've been riding since you're 3.5 years old, that's kind of how it feels as well. And because sometimes it's actually harder to explain it than it is to go out there and actually do it.
Yeah. So how is it being Chad Reed, the X-Man, like you were the guy, and you come and you're kind of going full circle back to local races, and what's it like to see the improvement in your kids? Because it's been cool for me to see that in the last couple of years, the levels that the kids have taken. So it's like you've felt all the improvement internally, but now to just go full circle and see it in your kids and to see this patch that they're in right now of like really progressing, it must be pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is the sport of motocross and supercross has been my life. But it needs to remain that way, right? Like the choice was mine. I got to do it. I loved it. I lived it. And the biggest thing is allowing the kids the opportunity to make that choice, and my littlest one he loves it. He's really talented. But he doesn't want to race today, or last weekend. So we leave the bike in Florida, where Tate and Kai are really chasing the dream and wanting to, to make it to a high level, and they're willing to put the work in. And as a dad that did this my whole life and did it at a very high level for so long, I love it. Like I genuinely love it. I enjoy driving the motorhome down the road and going to the races, and and Ellie and I have been doing this for 20 plus years, and and it's like we kind of went through that small phase of going to the soccer fields. And don't get me wrong, if my kid tomorrow tells me we're going to go to soccer, I'll put up with it and go sit on the sidelines. But if you're going to talk about something that you absolutely love and it's your everything, like I love when my kids do it, and I'm lucky that Ellie loves it just as much as I do. And we ready to do this thing, like you just at this point you're just waiting on the progression. If I always think that you're born winners are born, not made. There's only so many things that I can do. I cannot twist the throttle, and you can't make them do something. Yeah. So at the end of the day, they're just children, and they have to make that choice.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the things that, well, for me personally, that I love the most about motorcycling, and I think that you're probably going to experience this in like maybe 15 years, is like I'm a 35-year-old dude that still rides bikes with my dad, and like it's not racing, it's not motocross tracks, like it's changed, it's evolved, we're doing the adventure rides that we go on, and it's like I will never not do that with my dad. And it all started exactly what you're saying, like dad's driving down the freeway and you're in the back sleeping and doing schoolwork, and it's like it just creates something that's pretty rad when you do it the right way, and like now I get to share that with my dad forever.
Yeah, and I think the sport, it's tough, and it teaches you a lot of, I think, a lot of life lessons, you know, and I think that such a small percentage make it to the true highest level. And so I think that, again, going back to that, you're born, not made. And I think that you can't just push it. You can push it so far, but at some point you have to have that passion and that the skill set to do it. And what I love about what Moto does is not everybody's going to make it there, right? But that's okay. It's about
you're still picking up something.
The life lessons that you get from motorcycle racing, and you know, such a high percentage of the people that you interact with at these kinds of events are just good people, you know. And like I said, I'm 41 and I've been around it for 37 years, and we're still counting, and I love it, you know.
Well, I've got some gear. We're both sponsored by Alpine Stars. I'm trying to get an Orange Brigade ride for Loretta's, so I mean, feel free tomorrow to just swing by the tent and let's win this C-Class for me, bro.
You want me to put the gear on for you?
Yeah, just put the gear. No one will know. Wear my jersey, so there's no read on the back, you know.
You have a 250F though, right? Ooh.
Yeah.
I haven't rode a 250F.
Hey,
I'm not much of a fan of 250Fs. I'm a 450 guy.
Well, we've also decided that the gearing, you went the wrong way.
You went the wrong way?
Yeah,
your
DB
team
went
manager
the wrong
went the wrong way?
my team manager went the wrong. He's probably not going to sign me now because he's like, this dude's difficult.
Yeah.
He's so bad, and he's wanting to change gearing. He's not even jumping the jump.
That's now your life, where you're like you're acting like everyone's difficult.
Yeah, my life now is that everything else is wrong, but the rider's not wrong at all. It was, of course, the bike that I provided, right?
So what's the you guys can kind of go anywhere. The decision to drive 8 hours from Florida to come back to this race in particular, like what's the criteria for like a Reed family race?
Our goal as a family is to go to events that put on quality events with quality racetracks. It's important for me and Ellie, I think, that you come, there's corner marshals, there's EMTs, because at the end of the day, it is dangerous, you know, like you have to acknowledge that part of it. But you don't want to be, you know, most good, best motocross tracks in the world are in the middle of nowhere. And so how does the event, you know, facilitate that? And just the kids going out there and riding safely, a track that gets taken care of and gets all the needs that it's supposed to get. So that's really us. We're not chasing the KTM contingency yet.
Yeah, it can't be far away. Hey, wait, they're on the radar.
Hold up. Could you imagine the day when he's going to call me and be like,
hey, man, my kid's pretty good.
Listen, let's start.
See, you got it all wrong. He said, imagine the day that I call him. You're going to be calling me.
It's the day I call you. That's what it is, right? Okay.
You're going to be calling me. Tate, don't get me wrong here. Keep working, kid.
Can you imagine what I'm going to have to deal with this Moto dad? Of all the dads I deal with, if this is the one I have to deal with, oh, man. I already have Nick Way.
So you're on Nick's. Yeah.
Oh, I got to deal with Ellie. That's right. You're fine, right? You're chill. It's mom I got to worry about.
Mama Bear that you got to worry about. But yeah, right now you're in the honeymoon stage, so we'll give you a year or so to get up to speed. But he's not even great yet. Yeah.
Not yet. See, Chad wants me. He's like, Daniel needs to learn his job and be better at it before we even start the conversation of working together. I got to get my act together first, then we'll start the conversation. So I need to get in there a little bit longer.
Mountain Motorsports and KTM do a good job for us, so you might make it without having to put up with us.
I love it. But I like what Chad says too. This sport's gnarly. I mean, you know that the investment that's in it, but I think there's other creative ways to do this thing. Everyone kind of hits that one lane, wide open, biggest nationals, all in. But the truth is, and you know this best because you're living it, but the development starts happening the most in the teenage years, and Tate's hitting that right now. So now it's time to let's go explore. And they're in the RV, boom, 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 just getting him experience. And now is the time to go. And I hope that over time the sport realizes that this doesn't have to be so gnarly at 5, 6, and 7, and 8. You need good experience and then be ready to go and hit it hard when the kids can start doing it for himself. I know, Chad, you were telling me yesterday how it's him now. He's running this thing, and you're following, and it's him now, and it's that's the age, I think, of when this stuff kicks, right?
Yeah, I think so, and I think that right now, last year we went pretty hard at it. Like, we went and hit all the races. We did the area qualifiers. We hit up a regional. And for somebody that loves motorcycle racing as much as I do, I can honestly say the least amount of fun that we had was at the regional. It was horrible. Like, I've never gone to the Loretta Lynn's thing. And for me, there's, you know, I have to be careful on how I say this, but there's a lot of things that, because of who I am and the direction and where I come from, we have access to a lot of different things. And so for me, it's coming to really quality events like this, not really focusing on, you know, one event that I have to go and spend 10 to 15 days at, you know, things like that. Just finding events, and if we end up there, we end up there, but it's not the goal. Supercross at 16 years old is the goal. You know, he's 13 and he's got 3 years to figure it out. No.
Well, and figuring it out, though, is the creation of more opportunities to learn it. I don't know these details, but what's the deal in Australia? Give me the details on everything that you got going there with the Supercross, because I know it was important to you back when you were racing. I know it's back, but I don't know much past that. So tell me more about what's going on in Australia.
So I was really lucky as a kid. At 12 years old, you could ride Supercross. So, you know, American Supercross as you know it, the big show, we were really lucky as 12-year-old kids to show up on 80. Actually, there were only 80s back then, and we could do it. And so from 12 to 16, I got to, you know, be at those events. So basically 12, 13, I rode 80s, and then 14, 15, I rode 125s, and then at 16, it was actually mandatory that you had to go there and professional. I think since then, you know, in the last couple of years, it's actually changed back to more of an American system, but for the last 5 or 6 years, it's basically been missing. You know, like, I think that you see a lot of the level at that amateur level is starting to drop off at Supercross in Australia. And so Ellie and I and the kids got to spend some time there last year. And one of the things that we noticed at one of the local races was the grids were just packed. And I was so excited for Australian motocross to see how healthy it was. And I'm like, man, you really got to bring and tap into this youth and start that Supercross build. And so anyway, it's now the CR22 85cc Cup. I actually fly down to Australia here in a couple of weeks to do the first race, and then Tate will do the last 2 races. So we just built a house at James Stewart's property.
I can't believe
not
that.
a house.
Not a house.
We built a Supercross track at James's property. So
say that one more time, please.
So it should be pretty fun. And
you have a Supercross track built at James Stewart's house for Tate.
Right?
How in the world did that come up? I mean, whoa. Could you imagine 10 years ago if I would have told you, hey, you and James, you're going to build a track there. It's going to be for your kid racing Supercross. Come on.
I mean, 10 years ago, Haines City was off limits. You know, like, you didn't even drive in there. Yeah, it was literally like Tallahassee. Don't go. I don't even know what Tallahassee looks like. You know, like, because it's like you just don't go there. It's just Ricky lives there. Stay away. You know,
bad place.
Orlando area. James lives over there. You just stay in your lane and do your thing. Go to the airport and fly to the races. So definitely, you know, a lot of water under the bridge. We're good friends. We talk regularly, and it's funny. You know, like we have. Oh, hello.
Here we go.
Oh.
Probably. I think we're still streaming. There we go.
There you go. What's crazy is I went over about a week and a half ago. I went over to the property, and I was sitting there with Big James to go over a couple of things. And what I love, and you know, I recently just lost my father, and it was crazy to me sitting there for 3 hours with Big James, and it's like the upbringing. Like, no wonder we fought like brothers, right? Because we are so alike in the way that our upbringing was. You know, how Big James operates and runs the family is very, you know, similar in a lot of ways to what my family was. And it's pretty cool to come full circle and have that respect and just somebody that you can talk to about that you can't talk to anyone else about things.
So mini bikes are back in Australian Supercross. Do they have a vet class, a senior citizen class?
You'd be
Randy Richardson, everybody.
Anyway.
Randy Richardson. Oh, if they did, I'd be in it. That if you have a 250, because I know you won't ride 250, a 250 vet class, sign me up. I'll go.
Arena cross.
Let's
The
do it.
first one is like our true
I'm sorry to
arena cross.
interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt, but Wes told me to just get in here and act like it was an arena cross regional title and just wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
That you guys needed just to wrap it up and get it moving along. And then Wes, if you could have someone resize this crown. It doesn't fit me exactly right. So by the weekend, I need it to be like a 7 and an 8. Okay.
Are you 32 to 1?
32 to fun. Yeah.
Should we bring JG in real quick?
Hey, where is he?
Thank you so much, Chad. I'll be there for a coffee in the morning. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Ellie. Yeah, let's
The
go.
future
dude. Let's
most
go.
difficult dad on my roster, Chad Reed.
Yeah, there he is, the great man himself. Is Josh Grant still around, the other world's fastest mini dad? JG still around? He's gone?
He probably took off. He knew we
He's
were going
out.
to be calling him in here.
Oh, you can't. All right, is this a Loretta Lynn's chant right
He
here?
is the Loretta Lynn's champ.
Dude, that was so sick.
What's happening?
I walked past the podium right as you won that race, and I was like, damn, that's cool.
So, Loretta Lynn, here, I'll let you talk to him, but first off, shout out to Loretta Lynn's. I mean, racing that race is brutal. Walking away with the dub, awesome.
Oh yeah, that was great. It was a ton of years of work for that one. Like, it was a lot, and like I said, it took me 5 years in the row of trying, of failing and not making it just to the event. So I went my first time in C-Class in 2017, got my feet wet, and just had a taste of getting under that tent and just worked way harder just throughout the years. And to be like a champion, it's still surreal to this day. Like, it's my dream come true. So I'm just super pumped and grateful, and just God is my everything. So I just give it to him, and I'm happy with how things are going right now. I'm just going to keep working.
That's awesome. Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Baytown, Texas. It's about 20 minutes from downtown Houston.
Yeah, okay. All
Yes,
right,
sir.
Sweet. And the Texas motocross scene is pretty rad, apparently.
Oh yeah, the boys down there, they get feisty. They go hard, so it's real good. There's some good training camps down there, and it's just great down there. There's a lot of good tracks, and the weather's real hot and grueling, so it just prepares you for the heat and anywhere else, and you just feel good, and you're always prepared. And if you're training in Texas, the tracks are rough and everything's just a lot harder.
Let me ask you, you say you spent a couple of years trying to get into the event, and then you become a champion there. What do you think in the last year has been the biggest thing that's changed for you? Because that's a big leap in results. Like, so what's been the biggest improvement? Where did it come from? Because everyone says, oh, I worked really hard, but worked on what? Like, how did you make that big of a leap?
Man, my faith with God actually helped a ton, and I got brought to my knees. After 2017, I went into 2018 and didn't make it again after making it the year before, and that just really sent me in tears. So I was like, man, I just got to connect with someone that connects with me and knows me better than I know myself. So got with God and also started training with Sean Hackley, and we put a lot of work in, a ton, like extra runs, extra workouts, extra riding, just a little bit extra of everything, and just a lot more focus on the dream and less distractions, and it really paid off. Like, it was just a long road, so I just kept going.
That's wild, man. And then when you cross the finish line, did you know you had it when you got it, like based on the math, or was it one of those like waiting to see? Like, how'd that last moto go?
Oh yeah, no, I went into it and I was 3 points ahead, and I knew how the points and everything was in, so I was going in there. I was super tight. I knew I was going to ride like myself. I was so nervous.
Like, this is going to be terrible.
Yeah, I gooned out and pulled all my tear-offs, like the whole stack on like the first lap.
Oh.
So I just had to manage it, and I knew where I was sitting at, and I ended up winning the championship by, I think, 6 or 7 points. So I crossed the finish line. It was just the biggest sign of relief, and I was like, wow, it was just great. And the day before, my ex-trainer, he's like family to me, Andrew Pierce, he sent me the longest message and told me just remember the days, you're like the slowest and all that type of stuff. So I went in there and took that to the gate and just took initiative, and it came out on top.
So when you reach a goal, an accomplishment like that, the big emotional dump, everything, it doesn't take long for a dirt bike racer to go, okay, what's next? So what's your next goal? I mean, you had a big one, you chased it, you got it. What's the next one?
Next goal is, we'll focus on this weekend. I'm actually super stoked on this weekend. It's going to be a sick event. I'm excited, and I'm going to try to go in through Ponca and Minios and just keep the ball rolling. And my dream and goal is to be the best pro I can be. So be a top pro and make a name for myself and make a living out of the sport. It's super hard to do, but it was super hard to win Loretta's, and I believe I can do it. So I'm just going to keep working and just hold my faith in the Most High and just go from there.
I love it. So Jessica Patterson and we coach here. I mean, I don't know how it seems like 20 days a week, right? We're always coaching. And Jess and I, a couple weeks ago, I think it was, we realized, like, we never talked to the kids about what are you here for? Like, what do you want? What are you chasing? And so we just kind of like had a little mellow talk with the big group and went through each kid, and I was blown away at the goals, like top 10 at Minios, top 20 Minios. I want to win Loretta's. And it's awesome when you hear him say that, because it's like, it's realistic, and you're proof of that. You could make a dream years ago and then get there. And Jess and I afterwards were walking back, we're like, we never really talked to them and find out what they actually want. Like, we need to do this more often. Like, what are you working on? Because it's one thing to coach kids and make them better, right, Jess? But it's a different thing when they have a specific goal. Now we're like trying to help them get there. So I like that you had a set goal, a specific goal, and then went and got it, because it inspires kids that want to shoot for the stars. And so it was just a cool experience that we just had a couple weeks ago here, and little kids say what they actually wanted, why they were there that day. And
For sure.
never asked that, and we were blown away by it.
Yeah, it's a lot, like, to one in a sport. I mean, it's a very tough and grueling sport day in, day out, especially, as you put it in the work. And it gets tiring, and it's really hard on the body, the mind, but just the reward to feel your hard work pay off is, like, the best thing ever. So you just can't really get enough of it. Kind of puts you on a high. So just chasing that feeling over and over again and just doing the best you can. If you know you did your best, you're happy, and that makes me happier than anything I've ever tried to do in life. So I'm pumped on the sport.
That was definitely one thing that because man, your face on the podium when you won that moto is like burned into my brain. Like I just walked down, like I was kind of walking down to watch some more motos, and like you were up there, and there was such like a genuine, like you could feel the happiness. That's why I was like stoked when I saw you walk up, because I was like, man, I literally felt what that kid felt, because he was so genuinely happy on that feeling,
Yeah, that felt, like I said, it's just, I still get the chills when I think about it. It's been a dream of mine since I was 7. I've wrote in my journal about just making it to Loretta's for years and years just to make it. And then I just started, like, why not put down, I'm going to win Loretta's one day. And just day after day, I will win. I will do it. I will do it. With God, I have everything I need. I can do it. I can. And for it, like I said, for it to finally pay off, it feels so good. And it just keeps me a fire in my belly, and just keeps me going every single day just to be better and just be the best version of myself, because I know my parents, they put in so much work. So to see them proud really makes me proud. And, man, they work so hard, so I'm just going to give them 110% every day.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the cool things about motocross or anything that's hard and that really challenges you, is that you get a chance to overcome something, and then it's like that's in your brain then. And then the next time that you come against something hard, whether it's in motocross or whether it's in school or life or whatever it is, like you've achieved something that was at one point borderline impossible, And it's like once you do that one time, that's all you need to do. And that's not in motocross, that's in school, it's in business, it's in relationships, it's in life. So I think that just that experience that you've gone through to achieve something like that will never leave you, whether it's in motocross or not,
Yeah, for sure. Just going to carry that feeling throughout life, and that hard work that I've learned in the sport, like I said, just waking up the early nights, the early mornings, the late nights, just going to carry that throughout my life, and just whatever I do, is going to put that work ethic and just know that anything's possible as long as I work hard and you have some belief. It just takes a little bit of faith to do what you want to do. So, like I said, it feels great, so just going to carry that throughout the rest of my life for sure.
So cool. How good was the track today?
Dude, the track, it was man, it was so deep. But on a 450, I love it. The deeper, the better.
What number are you?
I'm running number 9 here.
Okay, yeah.
That's my Loretta's number, but I'm originally number 700.
Yeah.
So I'll be running that, like the Ponca, the Minios, and like the Spring Nationals and stuff like that, 700. But number 9 here.
Yeah, okay. I definitely saw you ripping today. But yeah, I just was in love with riding. I wish my only complaint with today is I didn't do 3 practices. That's my only negative.
I could have went for like 5. I was having so
I could be riding
fun
right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
I wanted to just write myself off, not be able to walk back into the house.
For sure. Yeah, the track was meant. The track crew did a great job, and Like I said, the deepness, that loam is like my favorite type of dirt. And it kind of reminded me of like the early start of the week at Loretta's, how the track was set up, that deepness and stuff like that. So it felt like home.
That's what DB said he wanted. He said, I want this to be a real racetrack, and that's what we got. Well, hey, the sun's setting, and I'm getting excited for tomorrow. DB, thank you so much. Are we going on? Are we getting one more? We got
Nice
time
to
for
meet
one
you
more?
guys as well.
Hey, congratulations. He was
Oh,
awesome.
what? JP? All right. No, we ain't going. Hey, thank you. I thought we were wrapping up at sunset. All right, we good. What's happening, dog?
What's up?
Still on? Here we are. We're still on. What's up, bro? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Hired gun?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, no pressure, but you're the hired gun. So explain that to all the viewers. What is the hired gun?
So pretty much you're just like the target, like you're the rider to beat, and you just try to beat them pretty much.
Yep. So if you're the hired gun in your class, everyone's after you. You're kind of identified as like, that's the guy. That's the target to beat. And there's different ones in different classes. So Austin comes in. What would you end up at Loretta's? What was your overalls?
I got 8th and 8th in both.
8th and 8th. But you had, what were your moto scores again?
19, 3, 3, and 4, 11, 13.
That 19. What was that night? What happened in the 19?
I was running 3rd, and then my reads went out on like lap 2 or 3, and I just couldn't hit any more jumps at that point, so.
You need them, you sure do. But so you're a hired gun here on the 125. What's your timeline? 'Cause, I mean, you're riding the bike fantastic. We're right around that point in the career where you make the switch. Everyone kind of does it at a different time, but it's in a window. What's your timeline looking like on a 125, making the move to a 4-stroke 250?
I'm racing 125 until Loretta's next year, but I've been practicing on 250 a good bit, so.
How's that go back and forth?
I like the 250 a lot, but I'm way better on the 125, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
You think it's
racing.
just more comfortable on it?
I'm faster on the 250, but like with the competition, I think 125 is better.
Nice. So 125 for another year. And how was your day today at the track? It was deep. Like Jadon was just saying, it's freaking 450 was eating that track up. But how was the 125?
It was pretty good. It just bogged down very bad, so it wasn't too fun against the 250s, but
Nice. Had fun though?
yeah, I had a lot of fun on the track.
So one more year in the 125s, and then we're going for the big dubs next year, right? I mean, if you're going 19.33 this year, I mean, that sounds like we're setting up for some 111s next year. Is that what we're going for?
That's the goal.
Okay. And where do you ride? What's the program like? You at south of the border?
I train at south of the border.
Nice. How's that been going?
It's been going great. Justin Robel came in last year,
I
and he
saw
helped
that.
me a lot.
Where are you from originally?
South Carolina.
Oh, you are South Carolina. Where at though?
Florence.
Oh, so you're not far from there originally, right? Is that?
Yeah, my dad owns south of the border.
Oh, okay. I'm so stupid. But that's again, I'm not from these parts. I'm from California. I'm learning. I'm literally learning everything out here. Okay. I asked Jessica. I barely know what's even on the property. Someone will ask me for like power or water. I'm like, I don't know where anything is. So, but awesome. But congratulations on the success you had this year, and good luck here. It's gonna be a lot of fun to see it. I'm glad you're a hired gun. When we were putting this all together, I was excited to see that you were gonna come out.
Thank you.
So congratulations and good luck the weekend.
Thank you.
All right.
JP Money, get in here. Let's close this thing out with maybe the female. We got the female goat? We calling it the female goat? Is that what we're doing? What's that? Are we calling you the female goat?
But you said maybe.
Yeah, well,
I don't,
maybe.
I don't know.
Come
like,
on now, come
I'm
on.
trying to like be humble. I know you're humble.
I'll let you
know?
talk to Jess. I talk to Jess like every day. So.
I don't need to really talk to him.
This is awesome. That's what I've got to say about this place. You guys have, as a team, you guys have done a really, really good job.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been it's never really, I guess, been a dream of mine to have something like this. It kind of just presented itself, and I guess about 3 years ago we talked about it, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And then Daniel got in the picture, and then the training and everything, and it's just been pretty cool, the whole thing. And I mean, I've never imagined, even when I was done racing, that I'd be a promoter or whatever, what you would call it. But I really enjoy it, and I really do enjoy training and stuff with the kids, and especially now Daniel's on board, that I appreciate it all, and we've been having a good time.
One thing that I said when we kind of started this was, it's like you can kind of make a good track anywhere, But to just have a piece of property like this, the grass is like half an inch long over the entire place. Like it's just, there's a cool breeze, beautiful trees. Like there's just, it feels like there's not a piece of dirt or blade of grass that's out of place here. And I think that as far as motocross tracks go, like I'm starting to get a little bit older, I'm married, I'm gonna have kids. It's like I want to bring my family to like a nice place. And it's like this is a place I want to keep coming.
Yeah, I guess that's why Daniel showed up too, because he really enjoyed the scenery. But no, it's been it's a lot of work. A place like this is a lot of work, but I mean we've done what we need to do, and especially when you're gonna have a cool event like this. It's like you gotta dot the T's, and all that good stuff. You gotta do everything to make it perfect. So we've had a good time, and just. It's been a lot of work to even get the track the way it is. We've done a lot of changes, but we've had a lot of good help and a lot of good people to help support us to get us here.
Yeah, you can't pull off a property like this without really caring. It's like it's so easy to overlook so many things that you guys do. So, switching gears from the property itself to what happens here on a daily basis. What's a week in the life of Next Level 101?
Well.
Too much?
Yeah, sometimes. So we do full-time training during the mornings, and Daniel and I both. And then also on Tuesday and Thursdays we have afternoon training, more so for kids that go to school or whatever it may be that their parents can't bring them. So we give them an opportunity to get a little 2-hour session, and we actually really like that one a lot. It's really cool to even bring those kids that are just trying to learn and get that base, and. So we do that every Tuesday and Thursday, but I mean, it just kind of all depends on what's going on the weekends, but we have that grind either Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday, or whatever it may be, but yeah, it's a full-time deal around here for sure.
And so we've got the main track that we're racing on this weekend, there's a second track over there, there's an arena cross track, there's a supercross track, and there's a turn track. Yeah. Am I missing anything?
What do you think?
That's what's here, but it changes all the time. Like we did a Loretta Lynn's camp. It was 3 weeks. Oh, that was so hard. It was so grueling. We were just as tired as the riders, but we were able to create 2 tracks up top, split them some days, put them together, turn track. The cool part about the property is we can change things all the time. We can connect the 2 tracks and run a super long. We can take a piece of this one and a piece of that one, and that's the cool part of Eddie Ray, who is just like, get me in the dozer, let me change. He just wants to work and throw things together, and let's do this now, let's do that now. So the property has the ability to do so many things, whatever we want at that moment, that there's really no rules. So you're right with what we have, but it can be changed super quick based on what we want to do. And I can just tell you right now, I'm going to embarrass Jessica right now a little bit, but like we are such a dynamic coaching duo. Like so I showed up here, moved here, didn't even know where the track was all the way. Like there it is. So went out, met Jessica. Well, not met, I'd known her, but hadn't seen her in a long time. My son starts riding out here, and honestly, it all started because I felt guilty. She's like, yeah, bring your son out. He can ride whenever he wants. And I'm like, okay, but that's very nice, but I got to contribute. I want to contribute. So I would tell Jess, hey, let me coach today, or let me jump in and help you. And we learned right away, like, whoa, we're a really good combo. Team. Like everything that she watches and tells him, that's not the stuff that I would say, but it's complementary to the things that I see and say. So it's almost like the kids are getting 2 lessons almost at once all the time, because she's way more technical on the details of riding and a lot of like the physical side. And I'm more of your like, hey, let's take advantage of this moment. Like, come on, you guys, I don't see a full effort here. Like, I'm more like inspiration, macro level, and she's more like, hey, those details right there. And then luckily, because I am kind of soft, when things are going a little haywire, she'll come down and like wake up the kids too. Yeah. So it's good because I'm not that way, and she'll be the hammer sometimes, but I don't have to. So we learned right away, like, we're kind of like good doing it together. Like we complement each other, and all the riders like it. And then, a bunch of dominoes drop. The next thing you know, they welcome me into the facility to be partners with them and be part of this great place that I pull in every day on the driveway, and I'm like, I can't even believe it. And we're just getting started. That's the coolest thing is we complement each other, but we're like, we have this much like out ready for this amount of ideas that are like coming together. So it's like we're still in the early infant stages of what we want to be, But look where we're starting. It's insane here. So no, I'm very grateful, and I'll stop embarrassing you now. But we are seriously like a great duo, and every day's been fun to coach. It's fun to coach with somebody that compliments you and shows up every day and loves it as much as you do. So it's been awesome, Jess.
Yeah. And does it ever surprise you? Like sometimes in the sport, you could say that the kids are too serious, at too young of an age, and it's like it's too much. But then is there times where it surprises you just how gnarly a little kid can be? You know, where you're just like, yeah, it's, you know, there's like this tiny kid that can barely read and write, and they are just an animal. You know, like it's got to be surprising.
Yeah, that's actually a lot of our afternoon stuff is the smaller kids like that. And it's surprising, but even last week getting some of the kids ready for Charlotte, it was it kind of really blew Daniel away. I kind of expected a little bit, but it is crazy, and I think even kind of what Chad kind of dabbled on earlier is like now we know it's like the time to start the development for that kind of stuff, but it's crazy too to see how far advanced they are already themselves, and just I guess the development of everything really, but it's kind of crazy to see those little kids out there hitting those jumps. It was pretty mind-blowing for some of the things, but it was cool to see too, because you could just see the development now at such an early age.
Yeah, and it's like you said before about when you ask the kids, like, what do you want from this? What are your goals? And it's like, it's so easy to look at a kid and think there's not that much going on in their head. You know, it's like, oh, they're just a kid. But it's like, there's kids that are dealing with fear, they're dealing with pride, they're dealing with ego, they're dealing with competitiveness. There's a lot that's going on, and these kids, it's almost like if you put weight on them, I mean, they can take it a lot more than what you would expect.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely accomplished some pretty good things since, you know, we've been around and seen, and it's just, like you said, it's just kind of crazy to see and watch the development of it all. So it's really cool, and I think, you know, the start is now for sure for those kids is to get out there and get that experience with everything. I think they need to do Supercross, they need to do Motocross, they need to do arena cross, flat track, whatever it is, get that all around development. So I think that's very important for kids, and especially if they have that dream or whatever. Like I said, me and Daniel one day were like, let's just see what these kids are thinking. Let's see what they've got in their mind. Let's see what their goals may be. And it actually was kind of like a eye-opener, I guess you could say, for us, because we were like, wow, we kind of didn't really expect it and didn't really, I don't know, I guess you'd say, tell us everything they really told us. And we were surprised, but it gave us a new respect and like, okay, this is what we need to do.
Yeah, and I think as well, it's probably worth adding from like my personal perspective. Like I grew up playing football and doing athletics, like we were more traditional sports. And I still remember some of my coaches from when I was 8, 9 years old, you know. Like I think when you're a coach and you're dealing with young kids that have a goal and they're working hard, like you can leave such an imprint on the development of that kid, you know. And it's like, you guys probably don't think about it that much, but like, yeah, I'm in my 30s and I still think about stuff that I went through as a kid with like really good coaches, you know.
Yeah, that's where Daniel comes into play. He's the inspirational, motivational one. I kind of like am more of the like grind hard, like I don't take much shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, guys, let's bring our best. We can do this. Reach for the stars. And Jess is like, use your front brake. Last practice, y'all were taking your hand off the front brake. I saw you. Don't do that again.
Yeah, I'm taking your seat off.
They're like inspired and then afraid because they know that she's watching like a hawk the whole time. So no, I think they get the best of both of us again. But Jessica's right. She's these kids right now. Like I think I'm learning more because she's been around the coaching side longer than I have. I'm learning their potential. She kind of already knew. Like I was such a baby on the Supercross track with these 65 kids. I was just so scared and careful. And she's like, just watch.
Good.
And they did. They all started doing it. And I was like blown away. And she wasn't even fazed by it because she's like, you need to understand these kids are better than you think. And I'm just like a soft dad, like careful, don't want anyone hurt. And these kids are like, can I seat bounce that? And I'm like, what? No. And she's like, let them do it. So it's like, yeah, perfect combo. When I need to be a little push, Jess gives me the push. So
that's so good. So you happy with how the track turned out today?
I guess I didn't really see it very much.
Oh, you were too busy?
I was busy doing all the other stuff, but what I seen and seeing the videos, stuff like that, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it was epic. I can attest.
Yeah,
to
I
it.
think what I've heard, and the only honestly person I've seen is Daniel do a mediocre pace out there for, to kind of do the super average, my bad. And I don't know, just the flow. I think the new changes the flow of it all. Me just watching, I really liked it. I actually, I rode the Stark on it a couple laps. I haven't rode it in a long, long time, but I took it out there for a few laps, and it was, no, I wore a helmet and boots, and that's it. But it was cool out there, actually. I really liked it. I thought the dirt was awesome. That's what the stuff I really like. Just from being from Florida, you like that loamy stuff, so.
Yeah, no, it was it was pretty epic out there today, and it made the trip from California to Greenville more than worth it, and it's only day one, so.
Yeah, and I honestly think a lot of it happens, and I tell other people this is, I think just because of where we've come from, our backgrounds and stuff, and knowing how, you like the track when you were racing. You know what you liked and what you should do or changes or whatever it may be.
It makes such a big difference.
It really does. I think that experience is a big deal.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, I think that. Are we good? We're good?
Do you need something?
Get in here. What do you need? We got 10 minutes? All right.
All right, let's talk to Randy.
32 to fun, baby.
32 to fun always.
Randy Richardson, they let you in.
They let me in. Actually, I know you had made some bold statements that I would not be allowed into this event, but let me know. Last night when I got to the gate, late last night, there was a beautiful woman there. Happened to be your mother. And I sweet-talked her and got into this event, and that's why I'm here. Have some fun, buddy.
Sweet-talk my mama.
I sweet-talked his mom.
You gonna let him sweet talk your mama like that? You like my accent?
Yeah.
I've been in the South so much, man. I love the South, eh? Like, seriously. Oh.
It's so good.
Are you from here originally? I do know. You're from Vegas, Reno, what?
California. So I'm a Northern California,
that's what it
Sacramento
was.
area guy who just decided to throw a dart on the map and land in Greenville, South Carolina, and I will never leave this place.
I ain't leaving.
Yeah, and the cool thing, so I'm from this area. I live in a small town Piedmont that's like 40 minutes away, and Daniel hit me up a year and a half ago and said, hey, I'm looking at that region. Like Justin Brayton told me, don't move to Charlotte, move to Greenville, South Carolina. And
we probably shouldn't be saying this on the internet.
That's okay, but JB knows what's up. Yeah. So Daniel moved to the area, and thank God. Thank God he didn't move into Piedmont because the title might be at challenge, right? So luckily he moved into Greenville. I'm still the fastest man in Piedmont, and we got Carson Brown who's in town, thinks he wants some. He doesn't even know you have to be a resident of the town. So no one tell him you have to be a resident to hold the title. But tomorrow, Carson and I are going to have some great fun out here on these old 75 Husqvarnas that you guys are sitting on. And the Vurb Classic is just a great event, right? So for me being local, I've ridden this track so many times when it was under some previous ownership, and kudos to Jessica and Eddie and now Daniel with what they've done out here. The track is prepped amazing, right? And Vurb Classic is always fun. Sometimes it's 32 to fun, but it's always fun, and it's a great event. If you're out in the area, stop by tomorrow, right? And you guys really have taken it to the next level, and I applaud that for sure.
Well, Randy, thanks for having us on your podcast, and thanks for having us on your Husqvarna.
Hey, honestly, let me tell you this.
I rode behind you today on these bad boys, too. It was It was really fun.
And let me tell you this. I admire you and the
you,
quality podcast you put out. I don't know if you know this or not, but there's some other podcasts out there, but yours is phenomenal, and I enjoy it. I subscribe to it. I watch it. I like it. I do all that stuff, whereas the others, I'm aware of them, but you do a phenomenal job on Gypsy Tales. It's an honor to say that I met a Gypsy, and right now I'm going to go have some fun. I'm going to ride some Stasics, ride some amp bikes, I'm going to ride some Gringers, and I'm going to have some fun because that's what the Vurb Classic is all about.
Well, I don't know that I could have said it much better than that. Thank you to our live audience. Thank you to the Verb boys for helping us put this on. Thank you to my co-host, DB. Let's Main Event Moto on Sunday?
Yeah, Main Event Moto on Sunday night. Live stream, baby.
I'll be on Main Event Moto Sunday night, live. Thank you all. Love you.